Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today. My name is Kim. I'm from the partnership team at Katalon. Today's presentation is about ensuring quality digital experience, best practices, and tools for modern software design. And I'm pleased to introduce our expert speakers today. We have Thai Lee, the Vice President of Consulting and Vietnam Business from KMS Solutions, and Mike Verinder, the Chief Community Advocate from Katalon. So this is the agenda for today. So after the introduction about Katalon and KMS, which Thai and Mike give the introduction today, we're going to talk about how approaches to testing have evolved and how agile software team embedded in the QA process effectively. And then we spend some time to discuss about open source versus commercial tools and AI machine learning in visual testing. Then we will spend a few minutes to talk about some of the challenges in implementing modern testing practices, and we come down to the Q&A. So I would like to introduce you to Mike.
Sure. So I'll go ahead.
So hey, Mike, can you provide a little bit about yourself and Katalon Platform?
Sure. So first, great to see everybody. I just read that we just had a whole ton of registrations today, and it's great to hear everybody. A little bit about me. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Verinder. I'm the Chief Community Advocate at Katalon. I've been in QA for close to 22 years, kind of leading and running engineering teams from anywhere from startup companies to large enterprise teams. I'm extremely active in the QA space, and I really love helping people realize kind of their full potential of quality engineering. A little bit about Katalon. So Katalon is a comprehensive all-in-one quality management platform that enables quality assurance, DevOps, software teams of any size to deliver world-class customer experiences and fast, easy, and very efficiently. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Thai. Please tell us about yourself and KMS Solutions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kim and Mike. Right, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thai Lee. I am the Vice President for KMS Group in Asia Pacific here. And today, I will bring you the topic about the software testing and automation, right? And about a little bit about the KMS solution. We are the technology consulting firm that can bring the software services to the client around the world. Basically, what we do is to do the build custom application for the client, to do the system integration for the client, or build a testing automation framework, or building data warehouse or BI platform for the client around the world. And in Vietnam, we are known as the best quality software shop in Vietnam. And hopefully, during 1 hour today, I can bring you the best practice and my lesson learned during my 20 years of software development here.
Thanks, Thai, for your information. So just a quick introduction about the partnership between Katalon and KMS Solutions. So KMS Solutions is Katalon Platinum Solution Partners. We have been working very closely with each other, providing a wide array of services and technology capabilities to customers across the Asia Pacific region. So for more information about KMS Solutions services offerings, you can check out Katalon Partner Locator website at katalon.com/partners. So over to you, Mike.
I muted myself. Whoops. So let's do a poll to get things started. All right. And ask people about their agile methodology and has your company adopted an agile methodology uh, and see if we get any response from that. And while that poll's going on, Ty, how have approaches to testing kind of evolved in recent years? And what are some of the trends that kind of drive some of those changes?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I will talk through my experience on those software development trend in recent year and look into the poll today, right? And then we will soon discover whether our audience has adopted the kind of agile methodology or not, or have not applied or something partially applied. Let's wait for the result, and then before I can jump into my lesson learned in the past 10 years.
Cool. So that's probably about it. Right, Kim.
Yeah. So we have only two feedback. The first one is yes, adopt the agile, and the second one is partially. So Ty, can you provide some of your comment and then your experience and idea about this?
Yeah. Okay. So can you turn off the phones? Okay. So from my experience, right, in the past 20 years when I work with the client around the world for software development, and we all come from kind of waterfall methodology where we do analysis, design, implementation, testing, and then production deployment. And going through each and every phase, every team taking a quite long time to do their step, right? Because when we look into the service organization, and that's where people are held accountable for. So because they know that they need to be responsible for the correct of the requirement, responsible for the correctness of the implementation, right? Or whether they have thoroughly testing the application or not before they brought to the production. So each and every step, the team tend to take a long time for their step to do their job quite well. So that the and the end result is it takes a very long time for the software to be successfully deployed into the production system. Now come the agile method, right? Scrum method, Kanban method, or Scrum method, right? And the team can say, hey, I have my sub team has adopted agile methodology, but when we jump into the software development organization, we may see the following items, right? And let me know if this pattern happened in your organization today. We may have some organization for the PMO and finance to do the requirement study, feasibility study, go through the business case to get the approval before it ram up the team, right? And then what is approved, the PMO or project management department or program management department finally wrap up the team. And when the team wrap up, right, and the team may split into multiple work streams, work in parallel together, and each of the work stream they go iteratively go through the design, implementation, testing, and deployment, right? The deployment here at this stage, the software may or may not reach into the productions because the product manager seeing maybe not many features to release to the end user. And then they centralize into the centralized QA department to do the system integration test, user acceptance test, or even some security testing before it hand over for IT organization, right? When we jump into those smaller teams, each of the team may run agile method, but in the end, right, we see the cycle time is take very long time. And what we can see here is we achieve the local optimization, but not the end-to-end optimization flow. So that is the trend and the pattern that I'm seeing from the software team around the world.
Okay. All right. Ty, how can agile software teams embed the QA process effectively? And what are some of the best practices to ensure that success?
Yeah. So for those software team, right? Because normally the software department normally very big, right? It may come from 50 or 100 people, and they split into multiple Scrum team, right? And to achieve the agile software development effectively, and the team need to adopt the what I call the automation, linear automation principle, right? They need to automate everything as much as possible, right? If there ain't anything that repeat 3 or 4 times to me, right, it needs to be automated on the system. Whether that is the reporting, system integration testing, API testing, or the functional testing, right? Because it's repeatedly do 3 or 4 times already, right? It's better to have the machine or the laptop or the server run that for us, so that we can allocate the effort for the QA team or the product team to do the ad hoc testing, usability testing, right? And that is the best way to focus their effort during the software development life cycle. And I do see the team, right, when they say, okay, I know that I need to apply the automation tool, right? But there are a lot of tools on the market right now. And one common question they normally ask is whether I should use the very pricey commercial tool to achieve a better result, or whether should I select the open commercial, open source tool so that I can get the better community support for my problem, right? So I keep hearing that question from every team. So I'm wondering whether, Mike, did you see that question, or what is your view on that question?
Yeah, so I guess my insight on that, I guess, is, open source tools are a great bedrock of many development teams. I mean, one of Katalon's products, Katalon Studio, is even based on Selenium, which is probably one of the most popular open source browser automation tools that there is. So if you ask me, like, how would I approach the tool selection? Well, quite frankly, I mean, I look at there's a lot to that, right? You look at the shop, you look at what the technical needs are in the shop, you look at your business priorities, which could mean your budgets, your deployment strategies, your time to market, even the skills that you need. One major benefit of Katalon is that we take care of all that framework stuff for you, and you don't have to figure out how to set up and maintain a Selenium framework, or goodness, you even how to set up a Selenium grid. It's all just seamlessly integrated into the platform for you, just by clicking a couple of clicks. So,
Yeah, and to jump into that thinking, right? And I do see some of the team, they have a product team. It's been there for 2 or 3 years already, and their automation testing framework is built on either Selenium or Cucumber, right? And when I asked, because they called me to request for the automation tester, and basically the requirement is based on the open source tool. And when I ask, okay, where are you with your framework right now? And they say, hey, I have roughly 8,000 line of code or 8,000 function already. So do I have the senior tester that can maintain this framework, right? And why if you get that question, and how you can wrap up the automation tester or the QA engineer to serve that requirement, right?
Yeah, so the maintenance of the framework is always the big question. And that's the big cost. It's not doing it the first time, it's maintaining it. and all the other tools that are associated with that, right? So another tool that we have is visual testing, right? We also have a great visual testing. How many people in the audience are even familiar with visual testing?
Yeah, let me launch
Yeah.
the one. Yeah.
Be interesting to see. Come on. Okay. Give us some love. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, so that's some good insight. So almost 70%, 67, aren't even familiar with what visual testing is. So that's great. So well, let's give a little lesson. So visual testing is, just to start off, the concept of automating visual testing has really kind of come out of its shell in the last couple of years. Visual, like if you would have looked 6 years ago, 7 years ago, you may have seen like one or two tools, visual testing tools on the market total. And now you see visual testing tools everywhere. So visual testing is simply just making sure that all the bits and pieces that are on a web page are in the correct order and they're in the correct space, right? UI automation is really good at making sure that all the stuff is on the page. Visual testing is making sure all the stuff is arranged in the right place. So Katalon has a visual testing application, and what they do is they use kind of unique algorithms to compare items on the site through layouts, text comparisons, and even pixel level comparisons. It's another great product on the Katalon platform. It's another benefit of the platform approach. This year is going to be a really great year at Katalon from a product perspective. You'll see some really awesome stuff come out. But I didn't prepare an example of visual testing, but a lot of times if you overlay like text on an image, you could see where text actually runs into that image, and so visual testing is making sure that those things don't overrun each other and into each other. And that's really important when you're doing not just web, but when you're changing from web to mobile, and you're looking at a mobile device and all those elements change format and that's really important. So anyway, back to you, Ty. Question, what are some of the challenges software teams face when implementing modern testing practices?
Yeah, the back to the challenge of the software team facing, right? They have a lot of challenge, and they keep asking us how to optimize those things, right? And my answer to those questions is really around 3 or 4 key questions is. First, whether to select the commercial tool or open source tool, right? Let's take a look at how quick we can ramp up that skill in our team, right? Whether that's Selenium skill, Cucumber skill, or Katalon skill, or whatever tool might be, right? How quick I can ramp up the engineer there, because people may come and go by the project, right? The project or the product might take 6 months, 9 months, or a year to finish its cycle, right? But people may leave or join the organization, and how quickly I can ramp up those skills and build the expertise in that area. So that's one thing. Another thing is, the second thing is about the requirement traceability. I keep hearing the saying, because the product or the BA change the requirement quite often, right? Should I test this function, right? Whether the requirement is still valid or not. Where can I trace that requirement, or where can I trace that into the implementation, right? So let's take a look at the requirement traceability in your team. You need to have that practice or some tool to trace those things, right? Because the end user or the product team, they may change or they may learn after spring release, after a month or 2 months, right, they discover a failed thing, or maybe the competitor has already released a failed new feature, right, and they keep changing the requirement for the better. So the team need to trace into it good and whether it's better to if it worth to test the function now, right? And that is number two. Number three, I normally advise the team to look is to shift left and automation testing, right? And I keep repeating myself, right? Whatever I repeat that 3 times or 4 times on my computer, right? That the computer can automate that. So we can do visual testing, API testing, smoke testing, or the system integration testing, right? Those things, let's automate those activities so that we can focus the effort of the senior tester on the product team to do the extra ad hoc testing to find the issue within the software. And the final piece of advice I would give is about the integrated tool change. I keep seeing the team, let's say a team of 5 testers, and they keep 5 spreadsheets separately. So whenever they test, they put a result, put into the share folder or share email, and the test manager can manually synchronize the result and manually raw the job, right? Basically, it takes a lot of effort for them to produce the report, right? To answer the thanks coverage and whether they are confident to release the product into the production or not. So integrated tool change is the key thing to answer here. So that's 4 items I can advise to the team, and select tool, what tool or not, or what practice that the team may select, right? Each of the team has different situation, and product manager or product a team may decide what tool and practice they want to adopt in their team.
Great. So thanks, Ty and Mike, for the great discussion. We will now take some time for the question. So before we jump to the question from the audience, I would like to ask Mike a question, very quick question. So as the Chief Community Advocate for Katalon, can you tell us what is new in the Katalon, Mike?
Oh, sure. So I mean, we're working on so many things in the Katalon community, so many new and exciting things. Just to try to help engineers develop and make better software. So a couple of months ago, we launched free Katalon certifications. And we're also continuing to add to our free Katalon library. In April, I guess we are in April. In next week, I think it's actually, we're sponsoring a testing competition at the University of Texas at Dallas. And man, we just have so much more planned this year for community events, and it's going to be a really great year. I'm really looking forward to it. But the cool thing about the Katalon community is everything is free, right? You can go in our community, you can get certified for free, you can use our products for free, you can learn anything you want to about Katalon for free. If you're on the free version, you have a discourse community that's supportive. And if you ever have questions, you can always ask questions in that free community as well. So that's what's going on. We are planning a launch of a kind of a better calendar to kind of let our whole community know of all the activities that are going on too. That'll probably come out in the next month or two.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. So we have some question in the Q&A right now. The first question from Divya: how to import Postman API collections to Katalon API testing?
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna get technical. Let me since we're on a call and I don't want to get too technical on this call, but if you reach out to me, mike.verger@katalon.com, I'll make sure I email you an answer for that, and as a follow-up.
Sure. Thank you, Mike. Another question from the audience. Can you provide some examples of modern approaches to testing that are being used in software development today? I think this is a question for Ty.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. So for the modern approach for the software testing team, I do see the team calling the QA engineer, and they have like automation QA, right? And in different thinking on those two roles, what I might suggest is the modern practice is to call that role as the automation engineer. Hey engineer, I need you to automate this thing for me. Whether that be automate the UI, automate the API, automate the system integration testing. And that means they need to use the tool around, either Cucumber, Selenium, Katalon, or whatever tool might be, right? And that engineer need to automate this thing for me. Because when we look into the application, right, the front end, the back end, normally these days, they can talk to each other via the REST API, right? And hit those API via Postman or Katalon or whatever tool, right? That should be easy. And most of the tools these days, they support the scripting language where the engineer can do perhaps local testing in their day-to-day work, right? And that means the learning curve for the new skill is easier for those things. And you may share the same thinking with me is Selenium automation tester is the community is there today, but to get to that person, that expert person, right? And that person might not be as cheap, right? Normally they say they are very expensive. And most of the time that cost will not work for the project budget.
Great, thank you. Another question from the audience that any customer reference for the automation testing practice you have mentioned, Ty?
Okay. So yeah, thank you for the question, right? Because I mentioned a lot about the case study here. So we do have a lot of software development team, right? In Australia region, we have a mobile app development team. We have been working for ANZ, Bank, right? In that bank, they have the department that Shout for Good. And that department, they need to be a mobile app for the donation to the charity. And in that team, we have roughly 20 people working for them for more than 8 years already. And these 20 people are taking care of requirement, coding, testing, and deployment for the client. So in that team, besides web and mobile development that we are taking, we also suggest them to use the Katalon framework for the automation testing team. And as of today, they already produce roughly more than 250 test case using Katalon Studio Engine. And they also utilize the Katalon execution engine and test out for their day-to-day work, right? And with the tool and the practice we define here, the client do see that that's the need. And that automation practice that help to release the feature faster into the production system.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing. A very quick question to Mike. How can I get a Katalon certification?
Oh, so just go to the Katalon site, look for the academy, the link to the academy, and you'll see a certification link within there. And there's all different, there's a beginner level certification, a professional practitioner, we call it practitioner level, and then expert level certification. And it's a neat little course to do. It does require you to actually be in the tool, using the tool a little bit. But it's free and it's easy to do, and it looks great on your resume too. So
Fantastic. Thank you, Mike. So it looks like we have covered on the basis. Is there anything else you want me to mention before dropping up, Ty or Mike?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for participating.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here.